What's up, everyone? Alex here from Computer Headquarters, and I just felt like making a video about the current state of supply and demand for the 50 series video cards. We are now, I think we're a full month after the release of the 5090. I could be wrong. Is it 3 weeks? Is it 4 weeks? Is it five? I don't know. We're in that ballpark of around a month, and they're still sold out everywhere. And even me, a company that is a system integrator who buys directly from all the biggest manufacturers, Asus, Gigabyte, PNY, MSI. Who am I forgetting? I literally buy direct, which is very unusual. Most companies can't even do that. I can't. I've literally not seen 15090. Like my computer behind me back there, it still has a 4090 in it. Actually, someone's literally calling me right now to talk about 5090s, and I'm not going to answer the phone because I'm making this video. So here's the state of the behind. Let's like peel back the curtain, so to say. What's behind the doors of this world of, let's call it the scalper world, if you want to call that. The manufacturers, and it's actually Nvidia. Let's say it's a trick. There's like a trickle down pyramid of why scalping is going on. Okay. So Nvidia is at the top, and you can kind of say that they're 100% at fault, or maybe not. Without being Jensen, it's kind of hard to say what's for sure. But I do think there's a pretty good chance there's a world where they definitely made this problem on purpose. They did stop building 40 series cards a long time ago, and they've done that before to create a huge demand. Low supply then creates a huge demand, right? So this isn't the first time that ever happened, but everyone was telling me months ago that they stopped building 4090s. And did you guys, if you haven't been paying attention, the price on 4090s went through the roof at the end of the year. We were selling used 4090s refurbished for about $2,500, while everyone knows a 5090 is coming out around the corner. Like, that's just nuts. That's just nuts. But that's what the market was. And before you were like, shame on you, you have to understand that when the market is there, for me as a seller, when the market is at that price of saying $2,500 to sell it, that means that I'm paying higher too. It doesn't mean that like I'm making more money. It means that my costs went up as well, because all of the suppliers, when they see the market is up, they charge more. And that's kind of what this whole video is about too, in some shape or form. So, Nvidia wants to make the market dry, so to say. Some people said, that they didn't build enough cards or whatever, but like, you have to now also look at it from another perspective. If you're Nvidia and you know that you have this card built, like it's ready to go, so to say, then you have to build them, right? And you can only build them so fast. I don't know how many they can build per day, but if you're Nvidia, are you expected to have to wait until you have 100,000 sitting in boxes packed and ready to go? I mean, they can do whatever they want, and at the end of the day, if it takes them a long time to build the cards, then they can just release whatever they can release. So that is their decision to make. So, but it's frustrating for us gamers, and it's frustrating for me as a seller to be not able to just buy these cards and we build gaming computers and we sell cards, both, right? So it's just a frustrating place to be. Now, I just bought my first 5090 just now, today. I just sent the money. Someone called me on the phone, then it said, hey, we got five 5090s of this card right here on my screen. Why can't I talk all of a sudden? Gigabyte WinForce. I keep wanting to say GeForce instead of WinForce, but yeah. So it's this card. It's a Gigabyte card. I'm not buying it directly from Gigabyte. I've tried buying them from Gigabyte. They don't really answer. I buy lots of stuff from them for whatever reason. When I say, hey, can I get some 5090s for my system builders to actually build PCs with them, I just don't get answers. It's really strange. I don't know if they're trained to not answer that right now, but they just won't answer me. But a distributor has offered me 5. Now, I had an open purchase order with this distributor for 5090s, and they told me that if I'm going to buy 5090s, I have to bundle with Gigabyte motherboards. So that's already a little bit frustrating, and this has happened many times before. There was a whole thing that happened years ago this was 30 series actually, and it was like 3090s and 3080 Ti's and 3080s were all getting bundled with EVGA power supplies. EVGA had the biggest quantity available in the market, and you had to buy like 1 or 2 power supplies per video card. And all of these SIs, system integrators, got stuck with thousands of power supplies, and then they were unloading them super cheap, and all the power supply prices tanked because of it. It was kind of crazy actually. And it was that's a whole story. I could make a whole YouTube video about just that. But I'm gonna keep going about this. So I had to take, and it wasn't like, hey, you could buy like a cheap motherboard that was like $50. They were all like $200 Z890, X870, really high end motherboards that they were requiring you to take one motherboard per video card. I'm like, okay, fine. Like they're selling me the card at around the retail price is actually I'm still paying over retail for the card. Then I'm paying for this $200 motherboard. I'm like, okay, fine. They're going for like $4,000 on eBay. So I don't want to sell them on eBay like that though. I would rather build them in a machine and then have the value of the whole gaming computer get higher based on what people perceive the value of the 5090. That's my ideal situation right now. So anyway, so today they call me and they say, so they've already accepted my purchase order, by the way. And they say, hey, we have 5 of these cards and we can give them to you, but you have to spend $1,000 per card on SSDs. And I don't need SSDs. I'm stocked up on SSDs. But I have to say yes, because the market is so high on these cards that paying another $1,000, if I just say the SSDs are $0 theoretically, and I buy a bunch of whatever 1 or 2 TB drives, whatever I buy, then I now, instead of paying like $2,200 per card, and then plus the motherboard $2,400 per card, now I add SSDs, I'm paying like $3,400 per card. Theoretically, based on the market, I could still sell them and make money. And this is why scalping happens, because you guys on the other end that are customers see the price at $4,500 on eBay or something. And remember, eBay's taking a cut. There's a shipping charge. There's all this other stuff that we have to pay as a seller. But if my cost is now $3,400, I can't sell it for $2,500. It's not going to happen. There's also a whole nother story I have to talk about with tariffs, but I'm not going to talk about it right now. But the price that NVIDIA released to the public was not real. The $2,000, it's not real. It's never going to be real. There's like a 25% tariff that could go. I think it's like 10% right now. It can go up to 35% later, is what my understanding is. So just throw that on top. The cards are going to be like $3,000 for a while as a floor price, and they're probably going to even be $4,000 right now for a while because of demand. So anyway, I'm just kind of giving you guys. I'm half venting. I'm annoyed with it. Did I buy them? Yeah, I took these extra SSDs. Well, I mean, I bought some. They're nice SSDs, so they're gonna go into the builds we build anyway, and they're actually nicer than what we usually would use. So we would normally consider the SSD I had to buy as kind of like a waste of value that the customer would never really want. It's like forcing something expensive upon the customer inside of the computer, but that's fine. At least they're going to get a really good SSD. So that's just me venting. We're getting our first 5 5090s, and then I'm on both sides of the fence here in a way, because I'm a gamer. I want a 5090 for myself. I don't personally want to pay a really high price. As a business owner and someone that is selling 1,000+ video cards a month, you would think I would have that hookup that I could get one for a good price for myself, for my own computer, at a reasonable price. And I can't even get that right now, which is frustrating. I haven't even gotten someone that some of these vendors, I spend millions of dollars a year with them. They're not even like, hey, Alex, we got you one card for your computer at your house. Not even that. That would be nice though. And they've hooked me up with that. Like a lot of these vendors have hooked me up with really awesome stuff before. Example, Asus Matrix, the 4090 Matrix card. That card is amazing. I made another video about that a couple months ago. I felt like it was the right time to sell it. I used it for 2 years or whatever it was, and it's great video card. But I figured, you know what? They were going for $5,000 still, even used. So I figured, might as well sell it now. The Asus EVA 02 4090 was also going for $4,000 plus still recently. We sold we had like a full EVA 2 gaming computer in our LAN center. We made a video about that as well if you want to see that. Really awesome all red themed computer. But we took out the EVA 02 card, sold it for $4,000 because we figured we'll get one later. The prices are going to go down. 5090s will come out, 4090 prices will go down, and we'll probably find one for $2,000 later this year. And we'll, this is a smart business decision to make that extra $2,000 and wait, in my opinion. So just a crazy market. I'm probably blabbing a little bit here, or ranting if you want to call it. But what do you, I mean, what do you guys think about the 5090 thing? I mean, I'm sure everyone's just mad about the price because everyone wants to pay $2,000 because Jensen, I will blame him for this. Well, Jensen, NVIDIA, I'm a NVIDIA stockholder. I like their company overall, what they're doing, but I don't like, this isn't the first time they've done this where they come out on the stage and they say $2,000. They make this price up and everyone's like, oh, that's pretty good. Actually, I think people complained about the price. The price was good, guys. Like I can't believe, I think Steve from Gamers Nexus and Jay's 2 cents were probably, I can't believe they're gouging us at $2,000 or something. I could be wrong about that. But I feel like people were complaining that 2,000 was too high. And I was just thinking the whole time, 4090s are selling for $2,500. What do you expect? They're not going to sell a 5090 for, $1,500 or even go lower. That wouldn't make sense business wise for them, right? When their other product that's even worse is selling for more. Supply and demand, back to supply and demand, right? So frustrating, but it is what it is. Yeah. Thanks for listening to me, and let me know if you've got a 5090 and what you had to pay. See ya.